At Steel Stadium tonight, you get an old school vibe as soon as you come underneath the arch. It feels like the 1950s. Looking to your right, the picturesque setting of the high school. And when you look to your left, you see a field where two schools want to pound it down each other's throat. But it is 2023, and first place in the Northern Lakes Conference is on the line as the Warsaw Tigers visit the Mishawaka Cavemen on this edition of the 46th Game of the Week. And how you doing, everybody? With the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt and Angelo DiCarlo, it's Chuck Freebie. Great to have you with us for one of the more anticipated matchups of the year on 46. The Warsaw Tigers, we're used to talking about Bart Curtis and Bart Ball and the option offense, but the Tigers, Bo, are really winning games with defense this year.
Yeah, they really had to step it on defense. They had 3 players go down that first game that are out for the season, and so on offense, they're like, well, let's just step up our defense, and so that's what they had to do. They really had to step up their defense, and they've done a great job at it.
As good as the Tigers have been on defense, it makes you wonder if Keith Kinder and a Mishawaka offense, which has been prolific this year, might have to make some tweaks tonight.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some tweaks to be made. And, of course, you know, they both coach together, and there's a lot of plays that they know each other has. And I'm sure Keith Kinder's got some that Coach Bart Curtis doesn't know about.
Angelo DiCarlo working the sidelines for us tonight. And, Ange, it would be a big game no matter what, with Bart Curtis returning to Mishawaka to face Keith Kinder. But the stakes are even higher tonight.
Yeah, you don't win the Northern Lakes Conference title with a victory tonight, but if you lose, it's going to be a lot harder to get back into the race. And then you add in the fact Bart Curtis' second trip back ever to Mishawaka, the love that he has for Keith Kinder, and vice versa, right? That's very evident from what we've heard all week long and all year long and really every day between these two.
Well, and even just a few minutes ago when we talked to both coaches. I think my broadcast partners are getting better looking. As I look at Bart Curtis and Keith Kinder, they want to call a spring game where DiCarlo and Hunt coach. And I know that would be more lucrative, but I want to defer to you because you're the journalist. You got a question for this guy?
You asked me that last year, and I think I messed it up. I didn't have a good one, and I didn't prepare again. No, I don't really have one.
Okay.
I've got one.
Okay.
What's the first point?
For us?
For you.
My guess is dive, and I would bet $1 that yours is dive.
Okay. Dollar it is.
What made you rescue him from journalism?
Well, he rescued himself, okay? When I first met Keith, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was down the state finals, and Maddie was coaching for me. He introduced me to Keith and said, here's a guy that gets it, and he's going to be a great coach someday. We need to get him. And it just kind of evolved from there, and we got him on board in 09.
Yeah.
And he spent a little time at John Young, and then that fall, as soon as their season was over, he was with us, and I knew right away this was the guy we needed on staff.
Was he easy to work for?
No, but that's what made Mishawaka the culture change, right? He demanded excellence. He made this place better. And we're just trying to keep it going like he did for so long, a decade. And I think I said this last year, and I keep saying it anytime I get asked. He changed this place for the better, and we're still reaping those rewards. So we appreciate him a lot.
What thoughts do you have when you come back to this place?
It's emotional first, and then you realize, hey, we're here to do the same thing that he's here to do. And that's to win a football game. So once you get past the handshakes of the people you worked with for 10 years, the hugs and all that, and it'll be nice, and I know I speak for Keith, I think, but it'll be nice to be able to wake up tomorrow morning and talk to him on the phone, because we haven't talked for 6 days.
You still going to get your foo-foo coffee when he's talking to you on the phone?
Yeah, I'll do that still.
It's the rudest thing in the world. How many people do you know call somebody and then pull up to a drive-thru?
Well, so the way that I look at it, it's more time on the phone with him. If I waited till I got the coffee, I wouldn't talk to him for the first 6 minutes from my house to the coffee joint. So I'm actually stealing 6 minutes when I call him.
Man,
Isn't that thoughtful?
You're very thoughtful.
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt this, but we got a football game to play. The St. Joe County Police Department pregame show, and the keys to win are next on 46.
I'm glad to see the Gray Pants are back.
You like them?
I do.
Yeah.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Bill's Heating, Health Markets, Tony Letcher, St. Joseph County Police Department, Martin's Supermarkets, Tire Rack, HealthLink, Raising Cane's, Crown Trophy, API St. Andrews Products, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, and the IHSAA.
And this edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by the St. Joe County Police Department. Join the team and help protect and serve our community as the Mishawaka Cavemen look to catch a tiger by the tail tonight at Steel Stadium. And Bart Curtis's Warsaw Tigers, undefeated and ranked number 9 in 6A, come onto the field as we get ready for our St. Joe County Police Department pregame show. The players over saluting the student section before the game. Let's get you ready for this one with our keys to win, and we'll start with the Warsaw Tigers. They love to run the ball with the fullback, Reed Zollinger, 5'8", 195-pound senior. See all that hair coming out of the helmet. He has had a great year, 884 yards and 8 TDs rushing. Last week, 45 carries for 313 yards in the win against Northwood. Defensively, Isaac Beam, the all-Northern Lakes Conference standout, anchors the defensive line. The big fella's got 40 tackles, and his 7 sacks are tied for third in the state. The keys to win for the veteran Bart Curtis and the Tigers.
The keys to win tonight for the Tigers, they need to control between the tackles. Both coaches believe the line of scrimmage is where this game is won, and they need to control that. Hold on to the football. They saw last week they caused 5 turnovers. They came out victorious. They know they have to hold on to it as well and make the most of each possession. They'd like to get 1, 2, maybe 3 first downs every single possession, no 3 and outs, and make sure each possession counts.
Meanwhile, as those captains come to midfield, the guy on the right, number 12, Brady Fisher, he's the key cog in the Mishawaka offense. Fisher has been outstanding this year, both running and passing, right around 500 yards in both categories, 7 touchdowns passing, 6 of them rushing. He's got a preferred walk-on offer from Notre Dame. And then the linebacker, Jackson Snyder, moves back to safety tonight in the new defensive alignment for Keith Kinder's squad, but he has been dynamite on defense with 57 tackles already this season. The 3-sport athlete was one of just 2 sophomores to be all-conference a year ago. The keys to win for Keith Kinder and the Cavemen.
The keys to win tonight for the Cavemen, they need to play the cleaner game. We saw them earlier in the year. A lot of laundry was thrown on the field, and Coach Kinder believes that cost them the game. They need to win field position. Special teams is an important part of this game. They want to win that field position. And first down efficiency, they need to pick up 4, 5, 6 yards on that first down play every single time. They can't have penalties or loss of yards on that first play.
The football series goes back to World War I, 1919. That era. Mishawaka won last year down at Fisher Field, 43-19, and the Cavemen lead the all-time series 11-6. The weather tonight brought to us by Rise and Roll of Mishawaka, Chamber of Commerce type weather in the Princess City. 79 degrees, a gentle zephyr out of the east at 7 miles an hour, and not a chance that any of those big old cumulus clouds bring any rain tonight. Mason Smythe gets ready to put the ball on the tee for the Warsaw Tigers. He is a weapon in this game as well. Smythe, one of the better kickers in northern Indiana, has knocked 20 of his 26 kickoffs into the end zone this season. But just in case, Mishawaka will put Brady Newsom back deep to try to return it for the Cavemen.
A lot of talk about this game in the Princess City leading up to this Friday night game. A lot of hype, a lot of fans showing up out here, a lot of community support for this game, and everything's on the line here tonight for first place in the NLC.
Warsaw 5-0, ranked number 9 in Class 6A, puts it into play, and Smythe with a line drive kick that'll be taken by one of the upmen at the 15-yard line, and a good open field tackle at the 26. But Mishawaka will have better field position than maybe they counted on having, as Mason Smythe uncharacteristically leaves it up to play. Drew Gitter was there on the return. As you look at Balance Brady, our factoids tonight brought to you by Superior Garage Door Service. And there you see the numbers on Fisher, 438 yards rushing, 455 passing. When's the last time a Mishawaka QB had more passing yards than rushing yards entering a game?
I don't think we can remember that far back, and if it was, they might have set the record for the most passing yards in a season. But what a dual threat quarterback Fisher is. And they got a lot of other weapons as well, but he's the main key for this offense.
Remember that it was Keith Kinder getting a bet from Bart Curtis that a dive play, or telling Bart Curtis that a dive play would be their first play of the game. And, well, it was a dive, but Brady Fisher went behind it, and Fisher is off to the races. And you can cue the fight song. Leighton Isbell's got to bring him down and can't. Fisher still on the run. Touchdown, Mishawaka. 74 yards, no flags. And the touchdown sponsored by DAC Insurance.
Wow, what a start to this game for Mishawaka. Dive right up the middle. Oh, wait, no. Fisher's going to read it, hold on to it, follow it up. Linebackers bid on it. Only guy back there was the safety, and just a nice little forearm shiver by Fisher.
73 yards officially on the carry. Brady Fisher with his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. Lucas Larson, who has been perfect on extra points so far this season, tries another here. And the kick is up, and it is good. And 21 seconds into this one, a lightning strike from the Cavemen, and they lead it 7-0.
And that extra point sponsored by Chonaki Automotive Repair. Chonaki Automotive Repair is cheering on the Cavemen. They offer full automotive repair and service, and get this, 96% of their 642 reviews on Sure Critic gave them a perfect 5-star review. Chonaki Automotive is located right across the street from the Mishawaka High School on Lincoln Way.
Well, let's look at this electric start one more time. And what a job the Mishawaka offensive line did on that play. Edward Rodriguez really got through there, but might have been a hold on Ethan Williams that didn't get called there. He had the arm around the neck of the Mishawaka defender, or Warsaw defender, excuse me.
Yeah, great job by the offensive line. A lot of times when it gets these type of offenses, everything gets conglomerate in the middle there, and so you can't always see it when they have a holding call.
Yeah, watch it again right here off the top, and keep your eye on the guard on the left side of the center, 65, and there's the hold right there that didn't get called. Fisher goes to the outside, and Katie barred the door. So Lucas Larson will kick off now for Mishawaka. His kickoff brought to you by Chonaki Automotive Repair.
That replay was sponsored by R&B Car Company, a weekly sponsor for TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week.
Grady Nolan is the deep man and takes it back at his 8. Nolan down the sideline and finally goes down at the 31-yard line. So good field position for the Warsaw Tigers on their first possession of the game, with the sophomore Quentin Brock at quarterback. Brock was the backup going into the year. Drew Sullivan was hurt on the 8th play of the first game of the season. And Brock, who got a little bit of time at quarterback last year in some mop-up roles, suddenly thrust into the limelight. He's done a good job with this Warsaw attack.
Yeah, definitely done a great job, especially last week, throwing up over 40 points in that game against Northwood. We'll see right here if they go to that dive play, just as Coach Curtis talked about.
Reed Zollinger, the fullback, behind Brock. And it's Zollinger on the carry, and he dives forward for about 2 yards on the play as we meet the Warsaw offense. And besides Zollinger, Lucas Ramsbottom and Leighton Isbell are the running backs. Grady Nolan has a reception this year. Ramsbottom has 5. That's been the passing game. The offensive line features seniors Chase Carl and Aiden Williamson up front, and they have done an outstanding job. 2nd and 8. Man in motion, but they give it to Zollinger, and he is snuffed out by the interior of that Mishawaka defensive line. And let's meet them now. As you see, Carmine Orozco, who holds a couple of Division I offers, got one last night from Boston College. They're going with a 4-4 alignment tonight. That's a little bit new, but they've got a lot of faith in Putz and Juarez at the linebacker, and they move Jackson Snyder back to safety to give him a lot of room to roam.
I really like that move by Coach Kinder, moving Snyder back there. Gives him a little bit more freedom to attack at the line of scrimmage.
Brock in a passing situation zips it to Grady Nolan. He's got it on the slant for a first down up to about the 47-yard line. The first downs for Warsaw, sponsored by SYM Financial Advisors. You get another look at this one from R&B Car Company, Will.
Not going to see a lot of passes in this game according to the stats, but talking to both coaches and kind of filling this game out, I think we might see the ball in the air just a little bit more than the average of 8 total between these two games. I said 8 total passes combined between these two teams is what they average.
Brock threw that one well, had some zip on it that time. It's Zollinger, and oh, he got met behind the line of scrimmage, and I think Brock was hoping to pull it away and couldn't. And Zollinger is stopped for a loss of 1. Wow, what penetration by Carmine Orozco in the Caveman defense. Watch it again from R&B.
Oh, wow, he just came right in there, unblocked.
Jason Martin, the senior defensive tackle, comes in and absolutely lays the lumber that time.
Circle M Spring in Warsaw's complete CNC facility, providing orthopedic components and springs to military, aerospace, and many other industries. Circle M Spring has the machining capabilities to handle your next project.
Lucas Ransbottom tries to turn the corner, managed to pick up about 5 yards on the play before Jackson Snyder runs him out of bounds. Ransbottom has been averaging over 10 yards a carry. They really like to get the senior out to the wings, and he was effective that time.
Yeah, it's exactly what they want to do on that play, is really get it to the outside, get up the field, pick up some good yardage.
Officiating crew tonight: Patrick Faust, Augie Frieda, Randall Groves, Dennis Kaiser, and Stephen Oldham. And the IHSA encourages more people to join the ranks of officials, not just unofficially from the stands. 3rd and 6. The pitch out goes to the outside, and Ethan Egolf can't get away from the pursuit of the Mishawaka defense. Brady Newsom was out there to flag him down. It'll be 4th down and a rare punting situation for Warsaw. They have only punted 4 times this season.
You can see here on the R&B Car Company replay, Newsom, great job of just stringing that play out, making the running back try to go outside him rather than cutting back in, holding his ground, and then when the moment presented itself, made that open field tackle.
Mason Smythe is the punter. He averages 32.5 yards a boot. Mishawaka is not even bothering to put anybody deep. They'll just be happy to get the ball. High floating snap, but Smythe is able to handle it, and a good kick. It'll take a Warsaw roll, and they kept it from getting into the end zone, and they'll stop it at the Mishawaka 3. An outstanding 50-yard punt by Mason Smythe pins the Cavemen back deep, but Mishawaka has a 7-0 lead on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Tire Rack. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Brady Fisher raced 73 yards on the only play from scrimmage so far for Mishawaka, gave his team a 7-0 lead. Now they start back at their own 3-yard line, 1st and 10. Novell Miller is the running back behind Fisher. Ethan Bryce, the man in motion. It's Miller diving forward, and he picks up about 2 on the play. As we get a chance to meet the Mishawaka offense, brought to you by Cochran Dental. Well, you've met the key characters, Fisher and Miller. Ethan Bryce having a nice year both as a receiver and a runner. Trey Thomas, the top receiver on the team with 8 snares on the season, and a solid offensive line. Matt Willis and Ethan Williams, joined by Aiden Brooks and Edward Rodriguez, all seniors on that offensive front. 2nd and 8. They'll give it again to Miller, and Warsaw's waiting for him with a talented defensive front, headed up that time by Nate Rosas and Isaac Beam. As we meet this Warsaw defense, they're joined by Mason Gabbridge up front. Good linebacking core headed up by Eric Cole and Jet Woodward. And the secondary has been improving as the season goes along. Ethan Egolf with 26 tackles to lead the core back there.
Warsaw's defense really packing it in here, trying to stop Mishawaka from getting any yardage out here, make them punt and get better field position on this series.
Ethan Bryce in the slot off to the left of your screen. Trey Thomas is at the line of scrimmage, a split end. Fisher keeps it himself on the option and did not fool the Tigers. who held the ground back there and will force Mishawaka into a punting situation. That's Jet Woodward on the tackle, the linebacker with his 40th stop of the season.
The original Bonnie Doon Drive-In on Lincoln Way has all your favorites. Stop by this season for a delicious Bonnie Burger, fries, and a root beer float. For over 85 years, Bonnie Doon has been a part of the community. Great food and rich, creamy ice cream make Bonnie Doon a favorite destination for a cool treat. Grab a taste of nostalgia at the Bonnie Doon Drive-In and check out their Facebook page for daily specials. And a big shout out for feeding our crew tonight.
Chonaki Auto Repair sponsors the Mishawaka punt. Lucas Larson, a member of the soccer team, is also the punter here for the Cavemen. Clean snap. Larson gets it out of there. Wobbly kick that will take a Warsaw roll, and boy does it. It will finally be down at the Mishawaka 37. So only a 30-yard punt with no return. And in that exchange of punch, you see the value of somebody like Mason Smythe. He just picked up Warsaw 20 yards of exchange.
Yeah, that was just a great job of really understanding on Warsaw's punt and getting down there, covering it, and just a little bad luck for Mishawaka on their punt right there. Little loss, about 7 yards on that after a ball hit. Coverage guys got to get down there. Can't run past that ball. They got to understand that.
Warsaw with only one first down in its first possession. We'll see what they can do here. Again, Zollinger in there at fullback behind Quentin Brock. But it's Quentin Brock on the keeper. He stumbles as he gets to the outside, tripped up after a pickup of 4.
Caveman defense really trying to stymie that dive and make him, Brock, the sophomore, carry that ball and make some decisions on the outside.
Brock has not been shy about carrying it this year, though. He has 54 carries for the season in their first 5 games, so averaging almost 11 carries a game. He picked up 3, they'll call it this time. Scoreboard says 2nd and 7. Egolf in motion, but it's reversed to Lucas Ransbottom, and he couldn't get around the outside. There were people back there waiting for him, including Jack Troyer. And he had some help on defense that time from Jadon Parker, as you see it again on the R&B Car Company replay. It's Troyer who got him by the shirt, and then Parker finished him off.
Yeah, just a great read by the Caveman defense. They snuffed that out right away. As soon as the play started, those guys were crashing.
So it's a 3rd and 10 now for the Warsaw Tigers. Brock looks to throw, looks right, the slant thrown behind Grady Nolan that time. It's incomplete. 4th down in what would appear to be a punting situation, but Bart Curtis doesn't like to punt.
Yeah.
And while he's got it at the 37, he may go for it.
Well, and that was the thing. That's why I was kind of, on that last play, I was kind of surprised he actually threw a pass play, because they're in that situation where I'm sure they're probably going to go for it on 4th down. So I'm surprised they didn't try to pick up 4 or 5 yards on that 3rd down play.
You saw the 2 coaches, Bart Curtis at Warsaw, Keith Kinder of Mishawaka on the sidelines, thinking about what will happen on this 4th and 10. And Bart Curtis wants to take a timeout. The timeouts for Warsaw tonight, sponsored by Lakeside Chevrolet.
This game's health tip is brought to you by HealthLink, who reminds you that good vision is key to success on the field and in the classroom. Schedule a yearly exam at HealthLink today. HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and more.
Angelo DiCarlo working the sidelines tonight. I'm curious what the atmosphere is like down there right now. Let's go to him with the Bills Heating sideline report. Angelo, how has that lightning strike of a Mishawaka touchdown affected things?
Well, you know, a lot of excitement on the Mishawaka sideline. I've switched over to the Warsaw sideline, but not panic here. Bart Curtis calling that timeout. Not liking necessarily what he's seeing. I believe he's going to send the punting unit on here onto the field right now, but definitely a lot of excitement from the Mishawaka fan base, obviously, right? It doesn't get better than that on the first play from scrimmage to score a touchdown. And it's a packed sideline for the Mishawaka Cavemen. They got a bunch of extra cheerleaders here tonight and a lot of extra fans. It's packed in the stands as well.
All right, thank you, Angelo. And as Ange mentioned, Mason Smythe comes on. And Smythe very good at directional kicking, so we will see if he can pin one into the coffin corner, or at least hang it up long enough for his coverage team to get down there like he did the last time.
Mishawaka, nobody back. Perfect time to just pop it in the corner.
And Smythe tries to angle it towards the sidelines. It takes a Warsaw roll again, and it's going to die around the 11-yard line. Smythe does his job. 26-yard kick. Won't help the average, but if you look at punts inside the 20s, doing what they want done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right now it's about field position. I mean, that was a fourth and 10 for Warsaw. They weren't moving the ball at all that series. It was probably the best thing to do is go ahead and call that timeout, get the ball down there, back Mishawaka up again, and just rely on your defense.
Brady Fisher, an unflappable young man at quarterback from Mishawaka. Comes from a long line of Fishers who have played here. CJ was more of a defensive stalwart, made a game-winning tackle in a big win against Penn. Then Justin Fisher was a quarterback here, now a walk-on tight end at Notre Dame. And here's Brady with that preferred walk-on offer that he received last weekend from Marcus Freeman and the Fighting Irish. From the 11, Novell Miller on the carry, and he wraps it up as he gets wrapped up. All kinds of Tigers around him, including Mason Gabbridge. His dad is the D-line coach, and Gabbridge, the junior, came through with his 16th tackle of the season right there.
ASA Electronics has been leading the industry and setting the benchmark for mobile technology solutions since 1977. The ASA family of brands is proudly partnered with companies like UPS, Caterpillar, Mastercraft, John Deere, Winnebago, and more. Go Cavemen.
2nd and 9. Fisher looks to throw, wants to lob it up there for Trey Thomas, and a one-hand interception nearly made out of bounds that time by Warsaw as Tristan Wilson had the coverage. He overshot Thomas by a fur piece that time. So it will be 3rd down and 9. Fisher overlooking things. Brady, a 3-sport athlete here at Mishawaka. He was a power forward on that sectional championship team that Bodie Bender had last year during basketball. And then a member of the golf team. And you talk to people around the program, they think golf is probably his favorite sport of the 3.
Yeah, I know him from being younger and playing baseball. He's definitely got that swing, and I'm sure he can hit that golf ball just as far as he's hitting the baseball.
He may find that more lucrative than trying to run away from guys like Gabbridge and Beam on the Warsaw defensive line, who hauled him down at the line of scrimmage for no gain again. As you take a look from R&B Car Company replay, that is a formidable Warsaw defensive line. They have only been giving up 53 yards of rushing per game. Obviously, they gave up a lot more than that on the first play from scrimmage tonight.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if Warsaw comes at him right here on the Mishawaka kick, sponsored by Chonaki Automotive Repair.
Warsaw with Daylor Villema back deep, bad snap. Larson did manage to get it out of there. It's an end-over-end kick, and again, Warsaw will have tremendous field position at the Mishawaka 30-yard line. And here's another look at it from R&B Car Company replay. A special teams faux pas for the Cavemen. They're lucky he didn't go to one knee to field that ball.
Exactly. He was right on the goal line right there. And a little bit of a low snap, still just didn't hit the ground on the snap, but you got to catch that and get that off. Can't let that go through your hands.
Warsaw is already in field goal range for Mason Smythe. Now we'll see if they can make any penetration here. 1 first down for the Tigers so far in the first quarter. It's Reed Zollinger and nowhere to go. Pickup of maybe a yard on the play. All kinds of Cavemen there waiting for him. That includes Xavier Juarez, the junior linebacker, with his 36th stop of the season.
Lakeside Chevrolet is proud to support the Tigers. Lakeside has locations in Warsaw and Huntington and is the home of the warranty forever. Check out over 200 used vehicles at lakesidechevy.com.
You can see Mason Smythe, 36, warming up on the Warsaw sideline just in case. 2nd and 9 for the Tigers. Brock keeps it himself. Ooh, he took a hit, but managed to fall forward and get to the 26-yard line. Quentin Brock, baseball player, tougher than he looks. He doesn't look like he's 6 foot, 165 pounds, but he's got some strength in that body, Bo.
Yeah, and I really like the way he just attacks that line of scrimmage. He made that decision, saw the end go out just a little bit, had the hole, cut the ball up, lowered his shoulder, and picked up a few yards.
3rd and 6 after the stop by Ken Clemente of Mishawaka. And I think Bart Curtis wants to use another timeout. He did not like the alignment for his team. No, it's Mishawaka who will take the timeout. That's sponsored by First Midwest Mortgage and Kevin Putz.
Martin's Supermarkets groceries to go. Annual subscriptions are now available. They're just $29.99 for the year. Get ad pricing, digital coupons, recipes directly from your account. Learn more at martin'sgroceriestogo.com.
We're going to stay in the Northern Lakes Conference next week and bring you a game from Jake Field and Dunlap. We'll get another look at Northridge. We saw them beat Northwood earlier this year. And our first look at Craig Kaler's Concord Minutemen. They've got Goshen tonight. They win that one. They'll be 4-2 going in. Could be a battle, 5-1, 4-2. Should be interesting over in Dunlap. We hope you'll join us Friday night 11, Saturday morning at 9 on your home for high school sports in Michiana, TV 46. As you look at Bart Curtis there on the sidelines, Curtis in his 33rd year as a head coach, and most of that time spent in Michiana. He started at Mechaniqua, then went to New Prairie, came here to Mishawaka. It's his 6th year at Warsaw. When he left Mishawaka, that guy, Keith Kinder, took over. 49-16 in his career.
A lot of wins in the last 13, 16 years between these two coaches here at Mishawaka as the head coach.
3rd and 6. It's Zollinger taking it up the middle, and the fullback gets forward to the 22-yard line. 4th and 2 in decision time. Mason Smythe certainly capable of putting 3 on the board, but Bart Curtis probably figures he's got to take his shots at 7 when he can.
Yeah, I think on that play right there, they were talking before this play even happened, if they picked up a certain amount of yards, or if they were going to go for it, and it looks like they already had the play called.
Ransbottom in motion. Brock surveying the situation. Play clock still at 15. It's Zollinger up the middle, and the fullback appears to have the first down as he gets just the nose of the football past the 20, and it's a Warsaw first down sponsored by Sim Financial Advisors.
Sim Financial Advisors, that's SYM, are proud to support high school athletics with over 50 years of service serving individuals, families, and businesses. Sim Financial Advisors can help you with financial planning, strategic assessments, and investment management. Visit sim.com to learn more. That's SYM.com to learn more.
Bart Curtis going with double tights here as he brings in Isaac Beam on the far side. They'll give it to Zollinger. Zollinger trying to run over people, goes forward to the 15-yard line, pick up a 4 on the play. Zollinger had 45 carries in the win over Northwood last week. We're in the waning seconds of quarter number 1, and he's already got 7 tonight.
Yeah, just a great job of leaning forward, driving his legs, really picking up great yardage there on first down.
2nd and 6, likely the final play of the first quarter. It's Zollinger again, nowhere to go this time. He got bottled up nicely by the rest of that Caveman defense as Trey Dunning came over and made the stop from defensive end. And 12 minutes are in the books at Venerable Steel Stadium in the Princess City. Mishawaka fired the first salvo with a Brady Fisher 73-yard touchdown, but then the defenses have dominated since then. Mishawaka leading Warsaw in a Northern Lakes Conference clash 7-0 after 1 of 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. And as always, they sponsor our sideline reports. Angelo DiCarlo is downstairs. Your thoughts on the first 12 minutes?
Well, I think it's been really interesting watching the early chess game between Bart Curtis and Keith Kinder. Bart Curtis doesn't like to punt. He's punted a little bit here. He's playing that chess game, making those pieces, not overreacting to a situation, playing it smart, playing it safe, and trying to outsmart his pupils, so to speak, in the way these two teams compare to each other so well. It's those little things both coaches talked about that make the difference in who wins this game here tonight, and we're seeing that early on.
Keith Kinder not wild about punting either, and we can see why it has not gone well for the Cavemen when they have punted tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great opportunity for Mishawaka, or for Warsaw, to put up some points on the board, to really come back, whether it's just 3 points. but the ability to actually play on the Cavemen side of the ball the last 3 series, and Mishawaka not to be able to get the ball outside of the 20, it's been, you're going to see it in the fourth quarter wearing on this defense.
Quentin Brock keeps it himself on the option, got around the corner, and then got stuck by Jackson Snyder playing that safety position. He had room to make the read, came up, stopped him after a gain of 2, and it looks like the field goal unit is coming on for Warsaw.
Michiana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is proud to sponsor tonight's game, and they are offering employee pricing on all new in-stock vehicles now through September 30th. Visit Michiana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram at the corner of Main and McKinley in Mishawaka.
Mason Smythe is one of the state's leaders in made field goals. He is 7 of 9 this season. The only 2 he's missed have been blocked. This will be a 30-yard attempt for Smythe. 5'11", 160-pound junior. Snap, set down, and kick are all good. And the Warsaw Tigers are on the board 52 seconds into quarter number 2 and trail Mishawaka by a count of 7-3. The scoring, by the way, for Warsaw brought to you by Circle M Spring.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies in South Bend is globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Like the teams in this game, Imagineering is always working toward a great finish, and thank you to Imagineering for your continued support of high school sports on TV 46.
Warsaw has a great tradition of kickers. They have had the Mevis brothers, and in case you missed it last week, Harrison Mevis with a 61-yard walk-off field goal for Missouri to beat Kansas State, and now Mason Smythe trying to follow literally in his footsteps.
Yeah, what a kick that was. Students rush the field, and you know, everybody talks about the quarterback, the running back, and stuff like that. And kickers, they get some love too.
Well, Mevis certainly did. He was the Southeastern Conference Special Teams Player of the Week last week, and he's got a burger name for him down in Columbia, Missouri, because the nickname for Harrison Mevis, the thicker kicker, and he doesn't mind it at all.
The old Sebastian Janikowski era.
Mason Smythe, well, certainly not thick. 5'11", 160 pounds, gets ready to kick. Brady Newsom back deep, and Smythe puts a charge in this one, but it goes out of bounds, and that's going to be a great benefit for Mishawaka. They'll have their best starting field position of the night.
DAC Insurance is a local independent insurance agency located directly across the street from Mishawaka High School. Specialized custom coverage for nonprofits, families, and business. Learn more at dacinsurance.com. Go Cavemen.
Be interesting to see here, Bo, with the improved field position for the Cavemen, if they're able to open up that option attack a little bit more, because they've had 2 straight 3-and-outs since the touchdown run.
Yeah, I think they did run the one pass play down the sideline, but I think he was a little rushed on that. But I think they've been very conservative in the last 3 series because they've been pushed way back by the end zone.
Novell Miller, only 3 carries for 4 yards tonight. Fisher looks things over. And it's Miller slamming that fullback body up the middle and picking up 5 yards on the carry. And that's more the Novell Miller that Mishawaka fans are used to seeing. He has rushed for 446 yards this season, including a 3-touchdown game in the opener against Marion and a couple scores against Northridge in week 3.
Ticomet in Warsaw is a proud supporter of the Tigers athletics. Ticomet is now hiring CNC machinists. Apply online at ticomet.com. That's TECOMET.com.
Second and a long 5 here for Mishawaka. And it's Miller again on a quick hitter up the middle, and he almost was able to break it, tripped up, but he got up to about the 44-yard line. He'll be a yard short of the first down. You can see how close this one came of going to pay dirt.
2 teams that really strive on picking up first downs. Haven't had a lot of first downs here in the first half between these 2 teams.
That was Mason Gabbridge with perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle that time on Miller. 3rd and 1. Warsaw showing blitz, and they came too far.
Yep, looked like they jumped off sides. That's going to give the Cavemen a first down. Sponsored by ASA Electronics.
Only the second first down of the night for Mishawaka. The first one came on the Fisher touchdown run. You see the blitzer coming right there, and Jet Woodward just got a little too close.
Everyone loves Rise and Roll Donuts in Mishawaka, but did you know that they also offer pies, jellies, soup mixes, Amish noodles, and so much more? Rise and Roll also offers a large line of gluten-free products. Stop by this week for your favorite Rise and Roll Donuts in Mishawaka on Grape Road. They're open Monday through Friday, 6 to 6, and Saturdays, 7 to 5. Rise and Roll, doing things the old-fashioned way.
Miller with a little hesitation run there. Found his hole and picked up 3 on the play, and that's just fine when you're running this kind of an offense. 3 yards is exciting for an offensive coordinator because you do that 4 times, you move the chains.
Yeah, especially on first down. They love to pick up 3-4 yards in this type of offense on first down. Really gets them out there and gets their offense motivated.
And Keith Kinder talked about first down efficiency as one of the keys to win tonight. Certainly, Mishawaka had that on the first play from scrimmage, but they did not have that on the last 2 drives. Fisher keeps it himself, managed to keep his balance, but the slip probably cost him a little bit. He had a lot more room around the corner, but when he slipped down, Warsaw closed quickly.
Yeah, not only the slip slowed him down, but he lost momentum and lost his drive in his legs. And so they were able to close a little bit more, only picked up about 1.5 yards. Could have picked up maybe 3 if he didn't slip.
3rd and 5 here for the Cavemen. Brady Fisher checking that wristband. He was a junior all-state quarterback a year ago.
Really working that clock, it seems like.
It's Miller up the gut. And he managed to work his way forward to the 42, and that's prime territory for Keith Kinder to go for it. On 4th down this year, the Cavemen are 5 out of 9, and they're looking at a 4th and 1 right here.
Is your family in need of a caring and compassionate dental office that treats you like you're a part of the family? If so, visit Cochran Dentistry at the corner of Ironwood and Mishawaka Avenue in South Bend. Dr. Joe Cochran wishes Coach Kinder and the Cavemen the best of luck tonight.
4th and 1 from the Tiger 42. Edward Rodriguez, the center for Mishawaka, looking to get big surge right here. He did. Brady Fisher got the first down, it would appear, as Fisher is past the 41, and that's where he needed to get.
Yeah, looks like right where they're marking it at. Nose across, half the ball, give it a first down.
Well, the officials say not so fast, my friend, as they'll bring a long look at the chains, and they might even bring the chains out for this one. If they do get a first down, and they do, it's sponsored by ASA Electronics.
In the market to purchase a new home, call our friend Kevin Putz with First Midwest Mortgage at 287-1152. Let Kevin put his 25-plus years of mortgage experience to work for you. Call Kevin Putz at 287-1152 from First Midwest Mortgage.
And you're right, Mishawaka is taking its own sweet time, but on the other hand, they still have 15 on the play clock. I'm sure they want to give that defense a little bit of a rest.
Yeah, I've talked about that in the last few series. You have to work a little bit harder when the team is in the red zone or in the own territory like Warsaw has been.
And it doesn't hurt when Novell Miller can get loose like that and pick up 9 on first down.
That first down by Mishawaka, sponsored by ASA Electronics.
Give him 8 on the play as you get another look from R&B Car Company, and that's the biggest hole that Miller has had to run through tonight.
Yeah, starting to spread it out just a little bit with that offensive line, starting to get the gaps a little bit farther. You can notice how they're starting to spread out. Warsaw's a lot tighter in their gaps. They pack everything in just a little bit more.
On 2nd and 2. Miller off the left side has the first down, and he's up to the 28-yard line. Pick up a 5 on the play, and another first down sponsored by ASA Electronics.
Superior Garage Door Service is proud to support high school athletics with over 30 years experience in residential and commercial and serving all of Michiana. Superior Garage Door Service will give you superior service at a fair price. Go to Facebook and search Superior Garage Door Service.
And Novell Miller is one of those running backs. The more he carries it, the more effective he gets. He's a young man who can squat 600 pounds. A lot of power in those legs. 1st and 10. It's Miller again, and he's taking people for a ride this time as he was able to carry Mason Gabbridge up the field to the 25 for a pickup of 3. Miller's starting to find his rhythm a little bit. Corbin Johnston, one of the linebackers, also in on the stop that time, and we've got an official's timeout as a Mishawaka player is down on the field with 5:20 to go in the first half. Cavemen lead at 7-3 and are marching on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Raising Cane's craveable chicken finger meals. One love. And there's Keith Kinder on the Mishawaka sideline. Our factoids tonight sponsored by Superior Garage Door Service. Trying to get the win tonight so he can beat his buddy Bart Curtis to the 50-win mark by just 2 games. Jim Miller, who coached back in the late 70s and early 80s here at Mishawaka, the fastest to 50 as you look at Bart Curtis over on the other side. The hobbled player there is Edward Rodriguez. He is the center for these Mishawaka Cavemen. And it looks like Trevor Went will go into the game to replace him at center. So obviously the thing to look at right here is that quarterback center exchange.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the biggest things to look at here with Went and Fisher, to make sure that they've been working on that, because you got to be able to work on that with some backup players once they go in, once a starter goes out.
2nd and 7 from the Warsaw 25. And Fisher keeps it himself on the option with room to run. He's on his way to another Mishawaka touchdown. 25 yards on the touchdown. Brady Fisher over 100 for the night. The touchdown sponsored by DAC Insurance.
What a great read, just faking the dive, following your blocker. Look at that hole he ran through, and then just ran through an arm tackle. Look at that, Trevor Went, center, getting downfield.
Made the most of his opportunity to play. Shonaki Auto Repair sponsors the extra point by Lucas Larson.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Dental Solutions on State Road 15 in Warsaw. Dr. Bill Stouffer and Dr. Brock Spangle congratulate the Tigers on a great season so far. Dental Solutions is accepting new families, so call today or visit dentalsolutions.net.
Larson's PAT is up and good, and with 4:48 to go in the first half, Mishawaka expands its lead to 14-3, and they had some terrific blocking. Carmine Orozco, you can see why he's a D1 prospect. He just came and walled off the hole for Brady Fisher.
Well, that was just a great R&D Car Company replay that we got to see right there, with that offensive line by the Cavemen really open up that hole and a big smile on Fisher's face.
I want you to see it one more time, and keep your eyes on number 54 on the right-hand side. This is Carmine Orozco, the right tackle. Now, you won't see it as well from that angle, but Orozco just turned his man around, and that's what happened when Fisher was able to get through the hole.
Yeah, what they're trying to do there when they do that fake is they're trying to drive the defense actually to that fake and push them that way. And Orozco just did a great job of just driving him.
Brady Fisher down on the sideline with offensive coordinator Kyle Shaw. Not wearing a big smile. He knows there's quite a bit to go in this game, but has to feel good about the progress the Cavemen have made so far.
You need a crowd pleaser? Well, Raising Cane's has you covered this school year with hand-battered, cook-to-order chicken fingers, crinkle-cut fries, fresh coleslaw, and my favorite, buttery Texas toast, and their craveable cane sauce. Order online at raisingcanes.com or through their mobile app, One Love.
Shonaki Automotive Repair sponsors the Lucas Larson kickoff. And it's taken by Grady Nolan back at the 5. Nolan looking for some running room. And gets up to the 25-yard line. And that's where he'll be brought down. Actually, I think that was Tristan Wilson that time, number 6, not number 5 for Warsaw. And it's Wilson on the return for the Tigers.
I'm sure Coach Curtis and the Warsaw Tigers would like to get a bunch of Sim Financial Advising first downs here to run out this first half. Pick up a touchdown and bring it within 4 points.
Well, they need to try to find a way to get back in this game. And 4:40's pretty much the amount of time they typically would take on a scoring drive. Quentin Brock at quarterback Hasn't had any turnovers tonight, but has not been able to untrack any big runs either. Reed Zollinger, the fullback, behind him. And it's Zollinger on the carry, and only manages to get 2 before he got submarined by Xavier Juarez that time. Juarez and Jackson Snyder, part of a solid Mishawaka linebacking core that has seemed to improve as the season has gone along.
Yeah, and I really like the adjustments that Coach Kinder's made throughout the year. You know, tonight they're moving Snyder back to that safety position, but it's more like a deep linebacker position. You have the ability to roam free and really read the play a little bit better.
And it's Zollinger again on a play where Brock's better read might have been to keep the ball himself, but they clamped down on Zollinger, and there's Carmine Orozco again.
Looks like Mishawaka is going to take a timeout here, sponsored by First Midwest Mortgage and Kevin Putz.
Well, there's another big football game in St. Joe County this weekend. And after Ohio State and Notre Dame tangle on Saturday, Angelo DiCarlo and I will talk about it on Monday night on Notre Dame Federal Credit Union's Irish Football Fix. We'll break down the game, tell you what happened, have a Focus on Faith interview, and then look ahead to another top 25 showdown for the Irish when they go down to Duke to take on the Blue Devils. That's Monday night at 7 on Pulse FM. If you missed the show, and I would advise against that, you can listen to the podcast on Apple and Spotify.
And I recommend listening to that podcast. And I did hear Notre Dame was playing a team from Ohio this week, but I couldn't remember who it was.
It is not Ohio University who knocked off Iowa State last week.
Yep.
But the Buckeyes are in town. That should be a fun one Saturday night at the stadium. One of the electric atmospheres that we anticipate this season with Ohio State, and then later in the year USC coming to South Bend.
Yeah, tickets are hard to come by. Parking spots are hard to come by. You know, the good thing about that is it's great for our community too. The amount of money that's brought in on hotels and foods, the travel industry, the money that's brought in with Notre Dame being well and bringing in a top opponent like that, and in a few weeks against USC as well.
You sound like a City of Mishawaka employee. 3rd and 8. Quentin Brock on the keeper, and this time Mishawaka is looking for it. Ken Clemente gets over from the linebacker spot, brings him down. 4th down, and the punting unit will trot onto the field from the Warsaw Tigers after only a pickup of 2.
Here to protect and serve our community, the St. Joe County Police Department is hiring immediately. Employment opportunities for high school graduates are available, and they offer a host of benefits and a true family environment on their team. Learn more at sjcindiana.com/employment.
Now, by the way, the timeout sponsored by First Midwest Mortgage. In case you're not interested in the Notre Dame football game, may we offer you an alternative on Pulse FM 103.1 tomorrow night as the Akron Zips come into Memorial Stadium to take on an Indiana squad. Tom Allen's squad desperately could use a win. Maybe this is the team that get it before they resume Big Ten play. We've got that one for you on the radio. Don Fisher, as always, excellent on the call on 103.1 FM Saturday night at 7:30. Let's go downstairs for a Bills Heating sideline report. Angelo DiCarlo, you've got an injury update on Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yeah, it looks like his night might be over here. His pads are now off. He has not been able to put any pressure on that left leg, and they've given him crutches. So it looks like Rodriguez's night is going to be over here for Mishawaka, which will be a big adjustment, obviously, to that offensive line.
Yeah, I'm looking down here at the trainer's table, and his dad, I think, just wiped some tears away for his son, who knows that he's not playing again tonight, and maybe his Mishawaka career could be in danger. Mason Smythe with the kick for Warsaw, and it's another beauty. Down by the Tigers at the Cavemen 28-yard line. So Keith Kinder, bereft of timeouts now, has 3:33 to try to march down the field and add to a 14-3 lead.
TireRack.com is proud to serve as a scoreboard sponsor for the TV 46 Game of the Week since 1979. Tire Rack has been helping people find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. They're also well known for supporting the Michiana community. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Mishawaka with an impressive drive last time that started at their own 35. They marched it 65 yards down the field, picked up 4 first downs, and put the ball in the end zone. Let's see what Brady Fisher and company can do here. They've dominated the line of scrimmage tonight, outrushing Warsaw by an impressive total so far. We'll give you that number here in a moment. 137-31 is the rushing advantage for Mishawaka. And it's Fisher keeping it on the option again and running through people and finally going down at the 41-yard line after another first down sponsored by ASA Electronics. Brady Fisher with 12 that time as you get another look from R&B Car Company.
He really looks like he's just the bigger, more physical player out there as he's running. I mean, you can see the guys just bouncing off of him as he's running down the field.
It's like Gulliver and the Lilliputians once he gets past that defensive line. 7 carries, 113 yards so far for Fisher tonight. 1st and 10. Fisher wants to throw. Throwing back, he's got Ethan Bryce wide open at the 40. Bryce to the 30. Bryce still on his feet. Touchdown, Mishawaka. 59 yards.
Wow, what a great wheel play to the backside. A little fake. They knew they were going to pass it. He rolls out. They're looking at Trey Thomas on the right.
The 8th touchdown pass of the year for Brady Fisher. And you'll get another look from R&B Car Company. Beautifully designed play. Nobody was near Bryce. And then Warsaw tried to strip the ball away instead of tackle him, and that didn't work.
Just a great job of really focusing, and I like how he drove into the end zone. He wasn't giving up. He's like, I'm catching the ball. I'm getting a touchdown right here.
He wanted some more of that into his veins. Touchdown sponsored by DAC Insurance. The extra point sponsored by Shonaki Automotive Repair. And movement along the line of scrimmage, and it looks like Warsaw jumped offside.
Wow, what a big play by Mishawaka here. Now, there is 2:46 left. Warsaw's got 2 timeouts. They get a good return. They might look to put the ball up the air as well.
Well, I think Keith Kinder thinking about going for 2 right here.
Yeah, I mean,
he doesn't have any timeouts to use.
They're going to move the ball halfway to the goal line, put it at the 1.5-yard line.
The play clock's going.
Yeah.
And they have no timeouts left, so Brady Fisher and his mates are going to have to sprint and set in 10 seconds here.
I don't think they realize they got 5, 3, 2.
Fisher just did get it off. Did he make it in? No, he tripped up short. And the extra point will fail with Mishawaka leading 20-3. We get another look from R&B Car Company at the Mishawaka touchdown. Bryce just ran a wheel route out on that end around.
Yep.
But the tackling attempts here by Warsaw, quite frankly, left a lot to be desired. Ethan Egolf going for the peanut punch there, but it didn't work.
Yeah, it's usually the second guy in needs to go for the punch. The first guy's got him wrapped up. The second guy comes in. You go for the punch to knock that ball out. And that's what happens when you're the first guy in trying to punch it away. They keep driving their legs, and end up running another 10, 11 yards after he touched him into the end zone.
And how about the first half for Brady Fisher? 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdowns, 172 yards of total offense.
Well, we talked about a dual threat quarterback, almost 450 yards passing and 450 rushing. I mean, just the way he's done it tonight has been on the ground and through the air.
Tristan Wilson, the deep man for Warsaw. The kickoff by Lucas Larson, sponsored by Chonaki Automotive Repair. And Mishawaka continuing to take it to Warsaw just as they did a year ago down at Fisher Field. High spinning kick. It'll be one of the up men taking it at the 11-yard line. And the return out to about the 27 that time for Warsaw as Daylor Villama had the return for the Tigers.
It'd be interesting right here if Coach Curtis tries to put the ball in the air or if they try to just keep it on the ground, because if they give the ball back and somehow Mishawaka scores, they get the ball to start the second half as well. So very important to have time management, but still try to score here because you're down by 3 scores.
2:41 left first half. Warsaw does have 2 timeouts remaining. Quentin Brock tonight 1 of 2 throwing the ball. That brings him to 7 of 18 for the season. Reed Zollinger is his fullback, who has been held in check tonight. But it's Zollinger on the carry that time, one of his better ones of the night. Ken Clemente brings him down at the 32-yard line after a pickup of 5.
It's like they're content to keep it on the ground.
Well, that's what they do.
Not too much of a, well, they're not too much of a hurry to get up to the line of scrimmage either.
Warsaw will get the ball to start the second half, but they deferred at the beginning of the game after winning the coin toss. By the way, Bart Curtis 6-0 in coin tosses this year.
Yeah, because Mishawaka did have the first play of the game.
And Zollinger is able to ramble that time up to about the 35-yard line. So pick up a 4, that'll leave it as a 3rd and 2 for the Tigers. Xavier Juarez, number 15, having a monster night tonight so far for Mishawaka in terms of tackles.
Yeah, that defense has really been stellar for Mishawaka tonight.
Brock, there's Zollinger. That's more the way he's usually running. 5-yard pickup and a first down, sponsored by Sim Financial Advisors. Zollinger playing a little bit banged up. He didn't practice much on Tuesday. I think Bart Curtis just flat out said, we made him carry the ball 45 times last Friday night.
That's a lot of carries.
We got to get him a little bit of rest.
That is a lot of carries in a high school football game.
Did you ever carry 45?
I carried 33 in the Jimtown game in regionals, the most I ever carried.
Brock wants to throw. Has his feet, throwing downfield, has a man, and they couldn't hang on. It may have been tipped away by Trey Thomas at the last minute.
Yeah, it looked like Thomas or Jackson Snyder, one of the two, tipped it away right at the last minute. And we've got a flag back here.
Second flag of the night as you get another look at this one from R&B Car Company.
Ooh, I don't know if they got a hand on it or not.
But it's an ineligible man downfield anyway against Warsaw. And I think at this point, Keith Kinder will take the yardage and try to force Warsaw to cover a little bit more ground here. Only the second penalty of the night on the Tigers. Mishawaka has not had a penalty. They have not had a turnover. Keith Kinder said, we want to play a cleaner game. They have done that so far tonight.
Yeah, talking to him when we covered him for the Penn game and talking to him tonight, he said, we just didn't play a clean game. I had to agree with him. I mean, it's one of those things, they started having some mental mistakes in that game, and one led to another, and quicksand kind of hit.
Now here's Brock on the keeper, and Quentin Brock gets back the penalty yardage, plus maybe about a half a yard. So the sophomore makes it 2nd and 9. Both these teams still with challenges to go in the Northern Lakes Conference. Whoever wins this game, yes, you're in first place in the NLC all by your lonesome. But by no means have you clinched the conference title. We'll get into that as the second half goes along. Flag comes out as Brock tries to reverse field and picks up about a yard, but we'll see what the penalty is all about.
Yeah, it looks like we're probably going to have a holding call back there. And
Keith Shanko on the tackle that time for Mishawaka.
They'll move him back.
And Keith Kinder will just keep pushing Warsaw back a little bit further.
Yeah, at this point in the half and in the game, they're not really concerned with the downs. They're concerned about the yardage and the ability to pick up yardage, and that's a spot foul on the holding, so it's 10 yards from the spot of the holding call.
Back to the 31-yard line. Warsaw not looking for excuses, and by no means are we trying to make them, but you can't forget that they did lose 3 starters in the first game of the season. And Bart Curtis readily admits that while his offensive and defensive lines have done a nice job, in fact, he said his offensive line probably played their best game of the season last week in the win over Northwood. Fact of the matter is they're not as good as they would be if they had those players.
Well, not only that, but that was a very emotional big game last week.
Sure
I mean,
was.
a lot of people going in that game had Northwood win in that game. Warsaw just didn't go in there and win. won. They won big, and they dominated. And I think that emotional game has kind of had a layover effect on them here in this game to start, at least here in the first half.
Keith Kinder wants to make sure what down it is here in case he's got any thoughts about getting the ball back. And that's what he's discussing with the officiating crew as to whether he wants to take the penalty yardage or the down.
Well, I think it is second down because there was 2 penalties that he's taken, one on first down and then again one on second down.
So that's what the discussion appears to be with Keith down on the sideline. We'll see if they move the ball.
They are moving it to third down on the near sideline.
You're going to put 34 seconds on the clock. And they do say third down on the down markers. Now Bart Curtis wants an explanation of what's going on. So
I think he's going to come out and say it's first down.
While we were rollicking right along here, all of a sudden things have slowed down to a dull roar.
Not a whole lot of first downs here in the first half between the two teams, but a reminder that ASA Electronics is the first half sponsor of First Downs from Mishawaka, and Sim Financial Advisors is the first down sponsor for the Warsaw Tigers.
Well, this is what's at stake in this game, as Warsaw and Mishawaka are tied for the conference lead, both of them 3-0 in NLC play. Northridge sitting there at 2-1, and they still have a shot at Warsaw in the last game of the regular season. And then some good teams in Concord and Northwood, but it just shows you the power of this conference so far this year.
Yeah, very strong at the top of this conference. You know, Mishawaka, they got a tough road ahead of them as well. Not only this game, they got Northwood and Concord, like you said. We get to see Concord in action next week against Northridge.
Well, we believe from the down markers on the field, it's 3rd and 19. Reed Zollinger on the carry, gets up to about the 40-yard line. May not matter here because Warsaw does not have to run another play. Zollinger a pickup of 9. He's at 41 yards for the first half. But I would be surprised if Bart Curtis tries to run a play here in the final 8 seconds of the first half. And Curtis sends his team to the locker room as the first half comes to an end at Steele Stadium in Mishawaka, with Keith Kinder and the Mishawaka Cavemen enjoying a 20-3 lead. Let's go to Angelo DiCarlo for a Bills Heating sideline report.
Do we not have the technology to walk and talk? We do.
Walk?
Yeah,
let's walk. All right. Your thoughts on the first half?
Well, our defense played really well. You know, we got stuck 2 straight possessions where we were backed up and had to punt out of our own end zone once, then punt from like the 15. Our defense is playing great to only hold them to 3 points. It's a long football game. All right, we gotta start the second half with a stop. That's the biggest thing right now. Watch the football there.
Yeah, that's important. Look at that. You're saving me. You wanted to play a clean game. So far, it appears you have. How much of a difference does that make when you have 2 teams that know each other so well?
Well, I think that, you know, we've been able to hit them on a big play on the throwback. You know, that's kind of a trick play. But we've just been really efficient after those 2 possessions in the first quarter. But I think we found a couple things based on their alignment, and we just got to be disciplined. 3 yards is a good play. Bleed the clock, all right? They got some tricks up their sleeve, I'm sure, and they're capable of making this a game.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy.
He's playing such a clean game. He's making sure I don't trip on the sidelines, Chuck and Bo.
He's got the technology, too. Grady Fisher, that's his technology. 3 touchdowns accounted for in the first half, 20-3 Cavemen. Stick around. Tony Letcher, Health Market Student Athletes are next on 46.
Time now for the 46 Student Athletes of the Week, presented by Tony Letcher of Health Markets, joined now by Chase Carl, a football player here for Warsaw, and Liam Bauschke, the long-distance runner, junior from Mishawaka High School. We'll start with Chase. Chase, obviously you're a football player, 4.0 GPA. You're a water skier. You're involved in theater. How do you keep it all together and maintain that high GPA?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely tough, but I think it's all just about time management, and I just got to make sure, I put all my effort into like certain things depending on what I'm in. So if I'm in football, I'm putting 100% in that. And then, over the summer I'm in water skiing, so I'm going as many practices as I can and putting 100% effort into that. So I think just depending on whatever I'm in, I'm just putting 100% in, and then getting ready for it when it comes around the next year.
I don't think people expect a football player to be a water skier, and you're pretty accomplished one, finishing 5th in nationals. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I've been skiing for a long time. I honestly, ever since I can remember, my uncle had a boat, and I've always liked water skiing. And then I had a girlfriend who was into it, and so then I was like, I'm joining the team, and then I just got better and better. I learned to slalom. Now I'm learning how to barefoot, and I've been hitting the jump, and so I've really enjoyed it, and just try to keep getting better every year.
All right, and making it all around, you also want to be an actor. Why that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've just always loved being on stage. I've loved performing. Ever since I was in my church's kids choir, I've loved being on stage. I love doing like church musicals and stuff, and I was in Truck the Musical my freshman year, and I've loved it ever since, and that's what I want to do as my career now. And
how has Warsaw prepared you and made you the person you are today?
Yeah, Warsaw, I mean, it's impacted me so much. I mean, just even the football, just instilled great, work ethic in me, great discipline. That's how I get, I think my good grades, come from that, just knowing, I got to go home from football and I got to work on my, my school and my homework, and, just great discipline and, yeah, definitely hard work.
Chase, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, Liam Bauschke, junior here at Mishawaka High School, ranked 9th in the junior class, and a long-distance runner, obviously. How do you make it all work?
Like he said, it's really time management. One thing that I do that's worked for me, I do my homework in the mornings, actually. I've noticed that I work better in the morning, so I wake up a little earlier. It's really just about how you get it done. You just have to get it done. So it is hard at times, but as long as you get through it, you'll come out on top.
You're an excellent cross-country runner, finished 9th in the state last year, and you qualified for the state finals in the 3,200 meter in track and field. What do you like about running?
It's really rewarding when you put all the work in, and it's very rewarding coming across the line. The team aspect is awesome as well. It's not just the running like most people would think. The running itself, you learn to love it. It's not the best part, though. It's definitely the people around you and the rewarding feeling afterwards.
You're involved with the Mayor Youth Advisory Council. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council, we really just focus on the community. The mayor will give us some projects, like last year, for example. He gave us a plot of land right by City Hall, and we made a pocket park there. So it's really just bettering the community and learning about local government.
And finally, how has Mishawaka helped you get to where you are today?
Yeah, so Mishawaka's been great. Mainly the cross-country team. It's just a great group of people to be around. Lots of discipline, lots of hard work. It really just leads you into everything else, so it's been great.
Liam, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's Liam Bauschke, junior long-distance runner from Mishawaka. Chase Carl, football player for Warsaw High School, our Student Athletes of the Week, presented by Tony Letcher of Health Markets. Your first half highlights and stats coming up right after this on the TV46 Game of the Week.
And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Martin Supermarkets. Count on us for all your grocery needs and so much more. The Mishawaka Marching Band entertaining the crowd here at Steel Stadium at the intermission. 20-3 lead for the Cavemen. Let's welcome you inside the Martin Supermarket broadcast booth. Chuck Freeby and Bo Hunt with you from Steel Stadium, and an impressive performance by the Cavemen tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a great job on the ground game to start the game, then in through the air, and Fisher went left, and Fisher went right, and then Fisher went in the air.
Fisher went nuts. So let's show you how it got to be this way here in the first half, because on the first play from scrimmage for Mishawaka, Brady Fisher raced 73 yards for the game's opening score, and the Cavemen waste little time getting in the lead at 7-0. The defenses dictated the rest of the first quarter. Brady Newsom will come up with a nice hit here for a loss of 5 for the Cavemen, as Warsaw had problems moving the ball, but they pinned Mishawaka deep in its own territory, and players like Nate Rosas were able to come in and make stops. Jadon Parker comes over along with Jack Troyer to make a hit here. Finally, Mason Smythe is able to get Warsaw on the board with a 30-yard field goal that made it 7-3. But Fisher had the two big plays here in the second quarter. A 25-yard scamper to the right side, and then he rolls right, throws back to the left, and he'll find Ethan Bryce for a 59-yard touchdown pass, and Mishawaka enjoying the 20-3 lead here at the intermission. And if you think the score's one-sided, take a look at the stats.
Yeah, the stats are definitely one-sided as well. I mean, you look at the Cavemen there, over 200 yards in that first half, 6 first downs. Warsaw only 3 first downs, and the ability to only put up 54 yards rushing in that first half. I mean, they got to get it done on the ground. But this defense for Mishawaka has been stepping up in that first half.
It's been a total team effort. We talk a lot about Fisher, but yes, that defensive unit for the Cavemen has been superb tonight and has really taken away Warsaw's power game. So what adjustments will Bart Curtis make? We'll find out when we come back. This has been the St. Joe County Police Halftime Report. Mishawaka leading 23 on the 46 Game of the Week. And this edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by API St. Andrews, 31 years of success. 20-3, Mishawaka on top of Warsaw. So those Warsaw Tigers you see have to make some adjustments coming out for the second half. Let's go downstairs to Angelo DiCarlo for a Bills Heating sideline report. And what did Bart Curtis have to say at the break?
He was not happy. He said, I asked him simply, what are your thoughts on the first half? And he said, my thoughts? My thoughts? He says, clearly Mishawaka knows how to run this offense better than we do, and clearly they play better defense than we do. He said if his team does not play with pride and dignity in the second half, it could be 40-3 by the end of the game.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but I'm sure he had a message to his players in there at halftime. And he usually comes out, and his teams usually come out in that second half and make those adjustments, and they're going to have to in order to stay in this game.
They get the ball to start the second half, and that's the benefit of deferring. And Keith Kinder expects Bart Curtis to go in deep into the playbook and pull some things out that maybe they're not used to seeing. Meanwhile, these Mishawaka students having a blackout tonight and making a whole lot of noise. They've had lots of reason to cheer. The only team that has tripped up the Cavemen so far this season, the Penn Kingsmen, who beat them in week 2 on TV 46-28-7. And other than that, Mishawaka has really been on a roll, and nobody has been close.
No, they haven't. It's been pretty much them writing their own ticket here the rest of the way, and for the conference as well. Now they talked about it. They got some tough matches coming up, and they got a long second half here as well.
The Mishawaka kickoff being sponsored by Chonaki Automotive Repair. Lucas Larson puts it into play. Tristan Wilson, the back man for the Warsaw Tigers. Larson on the approach. And Dayton Vilma will take it as one of the up men. Is that Vilma at the 29-yard line? Looks like it might be somebody else that they moved to that up man position. No, it was Vilma that time.
Chonaki Auto Repair is cheering on the Cavemen. They offer full automotive repair and service, and get this, they have a 96% of their 642 reviews on SureCritic gave them a perfect 5-star review. Chonaki Automotive is located right across the street from Mishawaka High School on Lincoln Way.
I don't know that we're going to get that many 5-star reviews.
I doubt it, with me beside you, you know.
Quentin Brock at quarterback. I don't think you're the one that they're ripping. Reed Zollinger behind him. And it's Brock on the keeper, trying to bounce off people, but there's just nowhere to go. Mishawaka keeping it so well bottled up, and only a pickup of 1 on the play that time for Brock, who now has 6 carries for 17 yards on the night.
Just playing almost the mirror image. We talked about this. You talked about it with both coaches throughout the week. Mirror images of each other, and it just, who's going to be more disciplined in this defense and in the offense? And a lot of it's won at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 9. Brock got tripped up in the backfield. Coming in like a missile that time for Mishawaka was Jason Martin, the defensive tackle. Take another look at the senior doing a dynamite job on defense.
I really like how the defensive end came in and went for the the dive, and actually his feet kind of came around, and Brock just lost his balance on that.
So now Warsaw looking at a 3rd and 11. Brock 1 of 2 in the first half throwing the football, but we'll see if he has to do it here. He does, a slant, and it is intercepted. Trey Thomas. And it's ruled incomplete. Or are they saying it's intercepted and he was down on one knee?
Yeah, I think they were saying it was incomplete at first, but I think it was the wrong signal saying that he was down. But he actually bobbled the ball. He never had possession until actually stood back up. See, he's down on a knee, but the ball's in the air. Oh, he was still down.
Yeah, he was still on a knee, but it's an interception for Thomas. And Mishawaka has it with great field position at the 32-yard line of Warsaw. And a chance to drive a dagger here in the 3rd.
Oh, that's exactly what Warsaw could not afford, to have a turnover right away here on the first series in the second half.
3rd time that Brock has been picked off this season. And now can the Cavemen cash it in? And how aggressive does Keith Kinder get right here? LaRon Kindred split to the left past what you can see. Trey Thomas to the right.
Do they go up top right away?
Nope, they go to Novell Miller. And he runs it forward to about the 23-yard line for a pickup of 9. Miller now with 11 carries for 45 yards.
Circle M Spring is Warsaw's complete CNC facility, providing orthopedic components and springs to the military, aerospace, and many other industries. Circle M Spring has the machining capabilities to handle your next project.
They'll give him 8 on the play. It's 2nd and 2. Brady Fisher calm and confident at quarterback.
Running that clock.
Just taking his time. Play clock at 5. Fisher keeps it, makes the right read, gets the first down, still not down on his feet. And finally, gang tackling by Warsaw takes him down. Eric Pohl, the linebacker, making the stop.
It looks like he picked up the first down, sponsored by Mishawaka Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
7th first down of the night for the Mishawaka Cavemen. And the officials finally allow the chain crew to move.
The original Bonnie Doon Drive-In on Lincoln Way has all your favorites. Stop by this season for a delicious Bonnie burger, fries, and a root beer float. For over 85 years, Bonnie Doon has been a part of the community. Great food and rich, creamy ice cream make Bonnie Doon a favorite destination for a cool treat. Grab a taste of nostalgia at the Bonnie Doon Drive-In. Check out their Facebook page for daily specials.
Brady Fisher probably going to get a nice shake or a burger or whatever he wants from Bonnie Doon tonight. He is doing a stellar job running the offense. And now some bad blood breaking out between the Tigers and the Cavemen. A lot of pushing and shoving going on in that scrum after Fisher picked up about 7 on the play.
A lot of emotional build up in this game. Everybody knows the backstory between the coaches, with Bart coaching here in the past, Keith taking over. Offenses being very similar. First place in the conference on the line.
And Warsaw has not won an outright conference title since 2001.
Yep, they shared only 1 during that period as well. That was 2 years ago.
2nd and 3. Fisher's going to throw it in the flat, and Ethan Bryce dropped it. Oh, he was thinking of his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Wow, he had blockers in front of him as well. If he catches that, he's probably in the end zone. Here you can see the R&B Car Company replay. Looked up. Oh, look at all the way in, Bryce.
Right through the hands. So that'll make it 3rd and 3. It also stops the clock, which is a no-no in this game. Look at that long offensive set for Mishawaka out there. And then you've got Miller. But they give it on a end around to Ethan Bryce, and he's all the way down to the 3.
Oh, what a great Mishawaka Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. First down pickup by Ethan Bryce. He got outside. He knew turn that ball upfield, pick up as many yards as you can, and most importantly, get that first down and get the clock moving again.
Bryce, who averages 11 yards a carry, picked up 11 right there. He had 2 touchdowns in their win over Plymouth last week. He's very close to picking up his second of the night right there. First and goal from the 3. Miller crashing, touchdown Mishawaka. It's sponsored by DAC Insurance. Novell Miller finds pay dirt for the first time tonight, the 8th time this season, and the Cavemen expand the lead to 26-3.
What a great job by the offensive line here. You can see Orozco just driving his man to the left, opening up the big hole for Miller. Miller able to walk right in.
Well, I'm glad you pointed them out because they have dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides tonight. The offensive and defensive lines for Mishawaka are winning this football game for the Cavemen.
Here's the Chenaki Automotive Repair kick.
Lucas Larson on to try the point after. Snap, set down, and kick are all good. And with 7:33 to go in the third quarter, the Mishawaka Cavemen right now are in control not only of this football game, but the Northern Lakes Conference. Nobel Miller and company lead at 27-3 on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. There you see Bart Curtis over on the sideline for the Warsaw Tigers. Our factoids tonight brought to you by Superior Garage Door Service. And Bart Curtis, the Hall of Famer, 8th among active Indiana high school football coaches with 245 career wins. But I think the smile is one of disbelief tonight. I don't think he at any point thought that his team would be beaten down the way they've been beaten tonight.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things when he talked about Ange coming back out. He's trying to get the fight out of his players right now and trying to make sure that they do not give in whatsoever in this game. They go out there, they try to find their groove, they try to find their momentum and try to get some things going on offense, because their offense, quite frankly, hasn't done much all night tonight.
And again, it's Dayton Villama from the 7-yard line. Villama, the safety on the defense, finds the corner and turns it for Warsaw and gives them one of their best plays of the night with a kick return out to about the 44-yard line, make it the 45. Great field position for the Tigers. Now can they do something with it?
This game's health tip is brought to you by HealthLink, who reminds you that good vision is key to success on the field and in the classroom. Schedule your yearly eye exam at HealthLink today. HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and more.
By the way, that kickoff was sponsored by our friends at Chenaki Automotive Repair. As you take a look at Quentin Brock coming back out, needs to rebuild his confidence perhaps after that interception that he threw that led to the last Mishawaka touchdown.
Just 18 attempts, I believe, on the year for Brock. So it's not like they're going to sit back there and throw the ball to get back in this game.
Reed Zollinger, that little red-headed human bowling ball, plows forward for 4 yards. Boy, there have been a list of Zollingers playing football at Warsaw. We remember his brother Patrick, who also wore 17. And I think that's part of the deal the Zollingers have with Warsaw football. We play, we wear 17.
We get that number.
Brother Patrick now playing at Trine. It's Zollinger again, smashing off the left side, taking some licks. Finally, Jackson Snyder and Ken Clemente are able to get him down after a pickup of about 4. It'll be 3rd and 2.
ASA Electronics has been leading the industry and setting the benchmark for mobile technology solutions since 1977. The ASA family of brands has proudly partnered with companies like UPS, Caterpillar, Mastercraft, John Deere, Winnebago, and more. Go Cavemen from ASA Electronics.
Do they go to Zollinger one more time on 3rd and 2? They sure do, and off the left side. Oh, what a great open field tackle by Clemente, but it's a first down sponsored by Dental Solutions. as Zollinger moves the chains, but Ken Clemente kept that one from being a lot worse than it was.
Yeah, that was just a great job, again, on the Mishawaka Cavemen defense. When somebody else collapses just a little bit, they have guys there to pick it up. And, man, when they talk about getting to the ball, they get guys to the ball.
1st and 10 from the 43, midway through the third. Brock wants to throw out in the flat. Nice catch made out there. And all the way up to the 34-yard line. Pickup of about 9 on the play as Lucas Ransbottom makes his 6th grab of the year. Only one other player on Warsaw has 1 catch for the season. Ransbottom is the guy they look for. And he was hauled down by Xavier Juarez.
Oh, I can see why with hands like that. That was a great catch over the shoulder like that.
Not an easy play at all. 2nd and 1. And it's Zollinger. After a play of rest, he gets 5. Up to the 28, gets a first down, sponsored by Dental Solutions. This is more the kind of drive that you expect out of this Warsaw offense.
Lakeside Chevrolet is proud to support the Tigers. Lakeside has locations in Warsaw and Huntington and is the home of the warranty forever. Check out over 200 used vehicles at lakesidechevy.com.
Looks like they are really applying pressure on that left side of the line right now for Warsaw. Zollinger runs that way again, but we've got flags thrown. It looked like there might have been an illegal shift.
Yeah, it looked like I believe 2 players was in motion at that time. They had the guy going in motion and one started forward at the same time. Talking it over.
False start called against Warsaw, and we'll see if we can pick it up here on the R&B Car Company replay. Ransbottom.
Oh, well, looks like the whole offense took off before the ball was snapped is actually what happened.
Somebody didn't know the snap count. It may have been the center or the quarterback, one of them. 4 penalties, 25 yards for Warsaw tonight. Pushed back to the Caveman 33. Zollinger up the middle. Juarez got him around the ankles for a pickup of 3. 18 carries, 60 yards for Reed Zollinger tonight.
This looks more like their offense and the way they wanted to do in the first half is really power, really show their dominance at that offensive line. But I think the Caveman defensive line just said, this ain't gonna happen. And they just crashed and they got the drive and the push in the backfield and they couldn't get any, Zollinger couldn't get any momentum forward.
Well, it's certainly operating at a crisper tempo right now. Brock wants to throw. No, he's going to keep it himself and run around the outside, and Quentin Brock finally sidesteps out of bounds at the 17-yard line. That's good for a first down, sponsored by Dental Solutions. Biggest gain of the night for the Warsaw Tigers, a 13-yard pickup.
I love Zollinger's block on that. He come out and really led the way, sealed the corner or the end, so he could get outside the defensive end and make that big pickup.
1st and 10 at the 17 of Mishawaka. Zollinger off the left side, still on his feet, all the way down to the 9-yard line. Juarez again in on the tackle. For Zollinger, that's his biggest carry of the night, but he lost a shoe and needs to come out for a moment.
You can run without your shoe. Martin Supermarkets, groceries to go. Annual subscriptions are now available, just $29.99 for the year. Get ad pricing, digital coupons, recipes directly from your account. Learn more at martinsgroceriestogo.com.
Junior Robbie Hoffert comes into the game for the first time at fullback, and it's Hoffert on the carry, diving forwards for about 4 yards. Jack Troyer brings him down, and you can move the chains again for Dental Solutions, another Warsaw first down.
Sim Financial Advisors are proud to support high school athletics with over 50 years of serving individuals, families, and businesses. Sim Financial Advisors can help you with financial planning, strategic assessments, and investment management. Visit sim.com to learn more. That's sim, SYM.com.
Zollinger on 1st and goal gets the legs taken out from under him by Jack Troyer, but manages to dive forward. And we'll see where they spot it. It looks like at about the 2, a pickup of 4 on the play. This has been more of an old school, old-fashioned Warsaw drive.
This is kind of what we expect to see more of in the first half, and I'm sure Coach Curtis thought the same exact thing.
Zollinger again to the end zone. Touchdown, Warsaw. Reed Zollinger's 9th touchdown of the season gets the Tigers on the board, sponsored by Circle M Spring. You get another look from R&B Car Company replay. Great blocking up front that time. Cameron Kaufman and Chase Carl moving people off the ball. And now, if you're Warsaw, you go for 2 to try to make this a 16-point game, put you within 2 touchdowns and 2 PATs.
I can see why Zollinger had 45 carries last week, because he's a horse. He definitely works that for the Warsaw offense.
And it's Zollinger for the 2-point conversion. Did he get in? Yes, he did. And with 2:36 to go in the third quarter, the Warsaw Tigers will not go gently into that good night, thanks to the tenacity of Reed Zollinger, finding the end zone and making it 27-11 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by HealthLink, your community health center. Half moon over that big clock tower here at Mishawaka High School. The flag hanging limply with no autumn breeze tonight. A warm September evening in Michiana and a beautiful night for high school football. Mishawaka enjoying a 27-11 lead now over the Warsaw Tigers. Question time. Bart Curtis sometimes will gamble a little bit. Do you do the onside kick this early?
I don't know if it's this early you do it. I think you try to pin them deep is the biggest thing. You got to get down and get some coverage. But the problem is, if you pin them down deep and they can pick up a first down, and then another first down, and then another first down, next thing you know, it's middle of fourth quarter.
Mason Smythe's kick is taken at the 1. Brady Newsome on the return. Newsome to the outside. And finally knocked asunder by the kicker, Mason Smythe, at the 36-yard line. Oh, put him in the old Pat McAfee play.
Almost took out Coach Kinder in the process. He's still got some hops, so he can still get out of the way. Just a great job of coming up full speed, making the cut. Always get the cut to the outside. Went to change the ball in his hands, but didn't quite. And there's Coach Kinder just getting out of the way. Still got the moves.
Keith Kinder may be 43, but the hamstrings are loose.
He'll be feeling that a little bit tomorrow.
That was a sweet move by the former Jimtown quarterback. By the way, for those of you who may not be of a certain age and don't know this, Mr. Kinder at Jimtown, 30-0 and a 2-time state champ. Brady Fisher wouldn't mind winning a state title of his own, and if he keeps running like that, he might have a shot at it. Picked up about 10 yards and close to a Mishawaka Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram first down. In fact, within about a yard.
Mishawaka Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is proud to sponsor tonight's game, and they are offering employee pricing on all new in-stock vehicles now through September 30th. Visit Mishawaka Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram at the corner of Main and McKinley in Mishawaka.
Carmine Orozco just went down with a huge cramp there at about the 47-yard line. So tell you what, we'll take a break. 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. Brady Fisher and the Cavemen enjoying a 27-11 lead on Warsaw here on TV 46. Chuck Fraby, Bo Hunt, and Angelo DiCarlo back with you from Mishawaka Steel Stadium. And Mishawaka having Carmine Orozco leave the game with cramps in his legs. We'll go down to Angelo in a moment for a Bills Heating sideline report as the Cavemen get ready to run a 2nd-and-1 play with under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Brady Fisher, the Mishawaka quarterback, 10 carries, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns so far tonight. He's got Novell Miller as fullback behind him. And it's Miller on the carry for the first down, brought to you by Mishawaka Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Angelo, Bills Heating sideline report. Has cramping been much of an issue? This is a warmer night than we've had in a while.
It is warmer than the last 2 Fridays, it feels like, but not bad. It's very beautiful out, to be honest. I have not seen too many people having cramping issues. Definitely Carmine did. He hobbled off on both legs, coming to the sideline looking like a penguin. No one helped him exactly because probably he's too big for everyone else to help him, and no one wanted to get in his way. But they are treating both legs right now on the sideline as he's played both ways all night long for the Cavemen.
And Mishawaka already lost a lineman to injury tonight, so they've got a couple of reserves in there, but it doesn't seem to make any difference because Novell Miller's just running over people, and then he's shoved from behind to go out of bounds at about the 43-yard line, and that'll be close to the first down marker, but not quite.
Yeah, a little. I think they just kind of let that one go because it looked like as Miller was getting right along the sideline, it was a little bit of push right on the sideline there. A lot of people calling for a personal foul on that play.
Yeah, but if you're not out of bounds yet, Alex Trusty deciding to give Novell a little extra guidance to the sideline.
Well, in that situation there, I mean, the clock keeps running. Novell needs to remember to stay in bounds on that play as your running clock.
2nd and 1. And the ball is on the ground.
Fisher
Who's got it?
it?
I think Warsaw's got it.
Fisher
Tigers recover.
Fisher tried to pull the ball out, and it got stuck on the fullback's elbow, it looked like.
You'll get another look here from R&B Car Company replay, and you're absolutely right. Slipped right out of his hands after he pulled it out, and then Jet Woodward saw it down along the lineman's feet and falls on it at the 44. And suddenly the Warsaw Tigers have some life in this game.
Wow, what a little bit of turn of events here. Warsaw, if they can get back again to their ground and pound. And I think with Reed back there in the backfield, I think they can do it. You know,
the Warsaw assistant coaches are in the box to our left and had the same reaction anybody does when they see the pigskin on the ground. Whether you're watching a game on TV or live in person, ball, ball, ball.
That ball was rolling around for a little while before anybody jumped on it.
1st and 10 from the 44. Zollinger tries to go up the middle and gets upended right around the line of scrimmage.
Wow, that defensive surge on the line just came through and hit Zollinger right at the line of scrimmage.
Zollinger now with 22 carries tonight for 73 yards. He has been a workhorse. 95 carries in the last 3 weeks. So Lucas Ransbottom tries to go to the outside and lost the ball. Mishawaka scoops it up, but they're going to say the runner was down at the 47-yard line. Now, was the runner down or was Mishawaka down when they recovered the fumble?
I don't know. The side judge the ones that blew it as they're down, but I'm not sure if it was down. Oh, yeah, the ground caused the fumble on that. Yep, that was a good call.
Excellent work by our crew picking that one up on the R&B Car Company replay.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
It is the end of the 3rd quarter. Mishawaka trying to say that they have the ball, and the officials, well, originally say they do, but it's Bart Curtis is trying to come out and make the argument that his player was down.
Yeah, he was down. Ball was not coming out at all. He got flipped up on the elbow, and the ball came out on contact with the ground.
So it's Keith Kinder not exactly enamored with the explanation. No need to send anybody back out onto the field, though. We'll go to the 4th quarter of play at Steele Stadium in Mishawaka with Mishawaka on top of the Warsaw Tigers 27-11 in a Northern Lakes Conference showdown on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Imagineering Finishing Technologies, IFT, where quality is a way of life. Confusion a bit of a way of life, but we've got Ange DiCarlo on the sidelines to help sort it out. What happened at the end of the 3rd quarter?
I think it was very simple. It was Warsaw's ball, and maybe some reason Mishawaka got confused and thought they had it. But Bart Curtis knew the whole time until all of a sudden he heard the announcement, and then he wanted to double check and had a big smile when he was immediately told it is Warsaw's ball. There is a breath and an excitement here on the Warsaw sideline here, of a belief that they have an opportunity here.
Well, and Lucas Ransbottom helps that belief with a big 3rd and 8 carry to the 39-yard line. That's good for 14 yards and a first down, sponsored by Dental Solutions, as you get another look from R&B Car Company.
Well, that was a great job of having the proper spacing so Brock could still get the pitch. Brock committed to the run right there. As he was getting hit, he realized, hey, you're still in pitch position. I can get it to you, and we can pick up the Dental Solutions first down.
Ransbottom ran for 64 yards in the win over Northwood last week. Ethan Egolf, halfback pass, lobs it out for Grady Nolan, and it's incomplete. Brady Newsom tried to recover and didn't really turn around, but no pass interference was called.
Yeah, I think there was a few things missed on that play. There was actually 2 guys in motion, and you can see right here, that's the pass we're going to see. Just kind of jumps up, an arm on him. No call on the play. But Warsaw had 2 people in motion as that play got going.
So maybe there was justice overall.
Yeah. DAC Insurance is a local independent insurance agency located directly across the street from Mishawaka High School. Specialized custom coverage for nonprofits, families, and businesses. Learn more at dacinsurance.com and go Cavemen.
2nd and 10, they give it to Reed Zollinger, but he's only able to pick up a pair. And it'll be 3rd and 8 again. On the last 3rd and 8, Warsaw managed to get to the perimeter. We've also seen Quentin Brock try to throw that slant route. It'll be interesting to see what Michael Curtis, the son of Bart, the offensive coordinator, dials up here.
They're in that situation where they're in almost 4-down territory at this point, you know.
With 11 minutes left, yeah, I don't think you're going to send Mason Smythe out there.
Yeah, they try to pick up 3-4 yards here and then decide on 4th down.
Brock rolls out. Now stops, and he who hesitates gets taken down by Ken Clemente. No gain.
Coverage. You can see here on the R&B Car Company replay, Brock rolls out, and look at him chase him down. Stop, hesitate, take him straight to the ground. Great open field tackle. Wow.
So 4th down and 8. And perhaps the ball game on the line right here with Warsaw down by 16. Corbin Johnston lines up wide to the left. Grady Nolan wide to the right. Brock to throw. Has time, a hook and ladder play, and tiptoeing down the sidelines is Ransbottom for the first down, sponsored by Dental Solutions.
The famous hook and ladder that he ran here against that Penn team, runs it again and runs it flawless. Just a great job, great pickup. A little bit more room, and that would have been a 6-point play.
Angelo DiCarlo was about the closest man in gray to him over there on the sidelines, but he just couldn't stay in bounds. A big 4th down conversion for Warsaw to keep their hopes alive. 1st and 10 from the Cavemen 26. Handoff, it's Zollinger off the left side, and he picks up about 3.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies in South Bend is globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Like the teams in this game, Imagineering is always working toward a great finish. And thank you, Imagineering, for your continued support of high school sports on TV 46.
2nd and 8. You see the clock, right-hand corner of the Tire Rack scoreboard. Warsaw trying feverishly to get back in this game. Zollinger off the right side this time. Taken down on a beautiful upending that time by Camden Putz, the sophomore linebacker.
Zollinger just coming up to that line and just diving forward, trying to pick up any yards he can over the top of that pile as the big hosses inside just go at each other still here in the 4th quarter. Wow. Just a battle up there.
Bart Curtis said this week at practice, this game is no place for the dainty. And it has not been tonight. 3rd and 5. Handoff Zollinger again. Xavier Juarez brings him down after a pickup of about 4. It'll be 4th and 1.
Ticomet in Warsaw is a proud supporter of Tigers athletics. Ticomet is now hiring CNC machinists. Apply online at ticomet.com. That's TECOMET.com.
Where they put the down marker closer to 4th and 2. We'll go with that as well. Zollinger almost fumbled but hung on to the football despite the lick from Juarez and gets a first down sponsored by Dental Solutions, or at least it appears that way from up here.
Looks like they might measure this one. It's going to be right near the first down marker.
Juarez nearly jarred the ball loose, and Zollinger did a beautiful job to control it on the way down. And the official points first down for Mishawaka. He says they've held on downs. I'm not sure why you would not measure that. Now the rest of the officiating crew coming in, and I think Bart Curtis could require a measurement.
I think they had to get to a certain yard marker, and they never got to it. I think they had to get to the 21-yard line or the 16-yard line and never made it to the 16.
Bart's still out on the field, hands akimbo over there in front of the Warsaw bench. And he cannot believe that call. Angelo DiCarlo, you've got a good look down there from your perch on the sidelines. What did you see?
Based on where they marked it, it doesn't look like he has it, but Bart Curtis is just amazed by both the fact that they did not measure and the fact of where the ball was actually spotted.
Here's the handoff to Novell Miller as Mishawaka looks to bleed clock, and Warsaw has to do anything they can to get the ball back.
Everyone loves Rise and Roll Donuts in Mishawaka, but did you know they also offer pies, jellies, soup mixes, Amish noodles, and so much more? Rise and Roll also offers a large line of gluten-free products. Stop by this week for your favorites, Rise and Roll Donuts, and so much more. Located on Grape Road, Mishawaka, open Monday through Friday, 6 to 6, and Saturdays, 7 to 5. Rise and Roll, doing things the old-fashioned way.
If you're a Warsaw fan, that clock looks like it's at double speed. And if you're a Mishawaka fan, it looks like a sand grain going through an hourglass right now. 2nd and 6. It's Fisher trying to get to the outside, and he gets nailed by Eric Pohl for a loss of 2 on the play.
Warsaw saving their timeouts because they are down still by 2 scores.
Ball security, an absolute must for the Cavemen right now with a 16-point lead.
Is your family in need of caring and compassionate dentist office that treats you like you are part of the family? If so, visit Cochran Dentistry at the corner of Ironwood and Mishawaka Avenue in South Bend. Dr. Joe Cochran wishes Coach Kinder and the Cavemen the best of luck tonight's game.
If you're Keith Kinder, how much do you trust your senior quarterback right here?
I believe he trusts him with everything right here.
He'll pitch it to Ethan Bryce, trying to get around the outside, and he can't do it as Warsaw pursues well. Cohen Hetty, the linebacker, 4.1 GPA, comes over and makes the stop. It'll be 4th and 2, and gut check time for Kinder and the Cavemen.
Yeah, I think this is one where they just let the clock go all the way down, maybe try to get him jump off sides, but they're probably going to call a timeout and then punt the ball away. You're up 2 scores at this time. You know, you're going to be under 6 minutes by the time Warsaw gets the ball back. I don't think it's a place where you take that chance of going for it on 4th down.
Well, he's definitely going to take the timeout here, and that timeout is sponsored by First Midwest Mortgage. And we'll take a timeout as well as the clock stops with 5:53 to go in this one. Mishawaka with a decision to make. 4th and 2 in its own territory, up by 16 on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, keeping education in front of athletics. Bart Curtis and his defense wondering just what Keith Kinder will decide to do here on 4th and 2. The punter, nowhere to be. Yep, he's running out onto the field right now. The man in the cap, Dean McCool, the special teams coach, or the kicking coach actually for Mishawaka, advising Lucas Larson before he takes this punt, sponsored by Chonaki Automotive Repair.
I think the key here is just to relax. And the very first thing is, you got to get that snap back to him. Last one was a little low. Get that snap, just get it off, get the ball down the field.
See if Warsaw comes after it. It's a high snap, but Larson gets it out of there, and Billema stays away, and that's Larson's best punt of the season, folks. It's going to roll down to the 15-yard line, a 61-yard punt.
Great example of what we talked about all year on punts is that ball's up in the air. You have a good opportunity to wave your hand, take the fair catch. That ball took another 20 yards on that roll. Wow. Right when you need field position, gotta field that ball.
So 1st and 10 for Warsaw at its own 16. The Tigers have to drive 84 yards, stop Mishawaka, and then drive again and cash in 2 two-point conversions to tie this one up. It's a tall order.
It is a tall order. Tonight's game is sponsored by Dental Solutions on State Road 15 in Warsaw. Dr. Bill Stouffer and Dr. Brock Spangle congratulate the Tigers on a great season so far. Dental Solutions is accepting new families, so call today or visit dentalsolutions.net.
Zollinger with a pickup of 2 on the play. 28 carries, 86 yards for Reed Zollinger. And I'll tell you what, Jason Martin and this Mishawaka defense have done a stellar job controlling the running game tonight. Warsaw typically runs the ball for 213 yards a game. They've been held well below that tonight.
Oh.
And the ball pops loose. It's still loose. I think, couldn't tell you who has it. Mishawaka seems to believe it does. Jack Troyer's got the football.
And that was all in the defensive play. The pitch was kind of lofted a little in the air by Brock, kind of let the defender come up and knock the ball away. Here you can see on the R&B Car Company replay, you got to draw. Oh, he slipped out of his hands.
And Troyer was the man who stripped it loose from Ransbottom, and then somehow, as the pigskin caromed around, it came back to him.
As he was going to pitch that ball, the ball slipped in his hands and never got any full spin on that ball to get it to the running back.
That is the second turnover of the night for Warsaw, and the problem for the Tigers is both those turnovers have happened in their own territory. First and 10 at the Tiger 18. Novell Miller chomping at the bit. He wants the football. You could see it. Miller finally thrown down by Isaac Beam at the 11, a pickup of 7 on the play.
If you're shopping for the best mortgage loan programs or mortgage interest rates, call our good friend Kevin Putz with First Midwest Mortgage at 287-1152. With multiple down payment loan options and some of the area's best mortgage rates, call our friend Kevin Putz at 287-1152.
Warsaw had been holding teams to 52.5 yards rushing per game so far this season. Mishawaka has hit them with 213 rushing yards so far here tonight.
And really a lot of that damage was done in the first half by Mishawaka.
Meanwhile, 137 on the ground for the Tigers. Here's Miller taking a beating, still going forward and getting the first down inside the 10 all the way down to the 6. It's sponsored by Michiana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and Novell Miller just keeps running.
Superior Garage Door Service is proud to support high school athletics with over 40 years experience in residential and commercial and serving all of Michiana. Superior Garage Door Service will give you superior service at a fair price. Go to Facebook and search Superior Garage Door Service.
And of course, Mishawaka trying to work that play clock down on every play. Down to 3.5 minutes to go in this one. Miller, right side, didn't get in, took it down to the 1. 5 yards on the pickup. It's now an 18-carry, 80-yard night for Miller.
Canes is in session. Order online at raisingcanes.com or through their mobile app for cook-to-order chicken fingers, crinkle-cut fries, fresh coleslaw, or buttery Texas toast, and also their craveable cane sauce. Big cheer for the new school year as Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Tell you what, give some love to that Mishawaka offensive line. Those guys like Ethan Williams, big old number 65 down there, and then you see some of the others like Aiden Brooks.
What a great job.
Matt Willis.
Trevor Went coming in at center, doing a great job as well.
So the Cavemen come to the sidelines wanting to pound it in one more time. And a reminder, we have more high school football next week on TV 46. We'll keep it in the Northern Lakes Conference. Northridge had its hands full with Wawasee tonight, but Chad Epley's Raiders will have to go over to Jake Field and take on a Concord team that's suddenly gotten hot. Craig Kaler's team playing better. Northridge and Concord, and more NLC action Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9 on your home for high school sports, TV 46.
The Battle of the Greens next week.
And look, if you want to talk about high school football, there's a show that it gets talked about quite a bit on Friday nights at 6 o'clock on Pulse FM. It's called the Tire Rack Drive to the Game. Angelo DiCarlo and I discuss the week's games. We make picks. We have interviews with players and coaches. It's a fast-paced half hour from 6 to 6:30 on Pulse FM.
Make sure you watch it on your drive to the game.
Well, listen, don't watch. Don't watch anything on the drive to the game.
Well, listen. Unless you're watching it on Facebook.
Watch the road. Watch Novell Miller. Can he get into the end zone? Doesn't look like he made it there. Came up short by about a half a yard. That's quite frankly fine with Mishawaka. They get to take more time off the clock. Warsaw has to sell out here to try to keep Mishawaka out of the end zone one more time. It's down to 3rd and 1. Will Keith Kinder use another timeout right here? I think he might. He's trying to bleed about 10 more seconds off that play clock before he uses his timeout, and it'll be sponsored by First Midwest Mortgage.
I think he might just go ahead and take a knee after this timeout as well.
Well, he could. He could. He's got a lot of respect for Bart Curtis. Angelo DiCarlo, I want to come down to you for a Bills Heating sideline report. We haven't really had a chance to discuss player of the game tonight. Maybe it's obvious. Maybe it's Brady Fisher. Although I think you could make a case for some of those linemen on both the offensive and defensive sides. What say you, Mr. DiCarlo?
I got to go with Brady Fisher personally, but I would say you're right because of the fact that coming into this game, we talk about the Warsaw defense, and Mishawaka has owned the offensive side of the ball in that area. They've really opened up and done their job to make sure that Fisher and Miller could get those yards rushing, as you mentioned. So I think you got to give a lot of credit, especially a beat-up offensive line, losing Rodriguez, their center, early in the game, and then Carmine going down with those cramps, and the next man in stepped up and did really well. So you got to give a lot of credit to that offensive line. And then on the other side, the defensive line also coming through as well to get the pressure and not allowing Warsaw's offense to do much here tonight.
I'm going with Fisher myself.
I mean, he broke the game open early. I mean, his first half solidified. I mean, when you have the 3 touchdowns that he had in the first half, the second half, he's just been able to control the clock. And here you give it to Miller. And
Up
over
and
the
over.
top.
Old-fashioned touchdown right there.
Sponsored by DEC Insurance.
You don't see running backs do that vault over the line as much anymore. It used to be really big in high school, college, and even the NFL.
Well, I think the biggest thing is you don't see a lot of piles like that anymore in high school where they crunch all in and they just dive at it. So many offenses, are even at the goal line, are spread out and they're in shotgun, so you don't see a lot of that diving over the top.
So Novell Miller's second touchdown of the night sets up the extra point attempt here by Lucas Larson. It's sponsored by Chinaki Automotive Repair. And Mishawaka Cavemen will win their 4th straight game. They'll go to 4-0 in the Northern Lakes Conference. But they still have their work cut out for them as they take the 34-11 lead here. And as we look at what's remaining for both Warsaw and Mishawaka, it's clearly not over yet in the Northern Lakes Conference, because Mishawaka gets a handful next week. They got to go to Andrews Field. Northwood right at the ship tonight against Plymouth. They're 4-2. They've got 2 D1 players. They're explosive. They're dangerous. They're all the things that'll keep Keith Kinder up at night this week.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be one of those games where, you know, Northwood just played Warsaw, got beat pretty handily by Warsaw. I think they learned a few things from that game, and they came in tonight. They played very well, and they're going to be ready for Mishawaka next week. And then, of course, Concord. We got them next week, and Concord's never a pushover as well.
No, and Northridge is sitting there. Should they survive Wawasee tonight, they're going to be huge Northwood fans next week, because if Northwood knocks off Mishawaka, suddenly Northridge has some say in the Northern Lakes Conference title race.
Yeah, we could easily have a 2- or 3-way tie in this conference by the time we get down to the end of it. Or Mishawaka, they go on to win this game, as they more than likely will. They'll right their own ship and control their own destiny.
Well, that's the thing. They do control their own destiny after tonight. Here's a squib kick by Larson that is fielded by one of the upmen, Isaac Beam, and he makes the grab at the 37-yard line. So that's where Warsaw will take over, trailing by 23 with 1:47 to go. If you're Bart Curtis and Warsaw, you come out of this, at least next week, you have the W trophy to play for. You have something to put in front of your team and say, look, here's an actual piece of hardware, a rivalry game that we have to, you know, can't sit around and pout about. We got to go play.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be adjustments made for sure before next week's game. And a lot of those, I think, are going to be on the attitudes and how they came out in the second half. They played more determined in the second half. I think that was the biggest thing.
And a flag thrown as the play got underway. Carmine Orozco absolutely leveled Hoffert. But it's because Mishawaka was offside. That's the first penalty on Mishawaka tonight. It comes with 1:44 left in the game.
Not sure if Orozco was the one offsides or not, but I'm telling you what, he just threw his defender to the side and just came in and was like, yeah, you ain't going anywhere, bud.
Robbie Hoffert, the fullback here. And Hoffert didn't fare any better that time either, as Jason Martin, who has had his name called quite a bit for a defensive tackle tonight, comes in and makes the hit. And we've lauded the defense, but I don't think we've talked enough about the strategy that Keith Kinder used coming into this game. Basically scrapping the 3-4 that he normally runs and going with a 4-4. What advantage did he get from that?
Well, I think one of the biggest ones is he brought in another athletic guy, and when he went to the 4-4, he dropped Snyder back, took him out of that, and gave him even more athletic position on the outside to not pick up. You see right there, Snyder came up from his safety position to make the play tackle on a 1.5-yard gain. So the ability for somebody like Snyder, who's normally a linebacker, to play at safety, but a shallow safety, is you have a lot more free range to come up and make those big hits like that.
3rd and 2. It's Hoffert again for a first down, sponsored by Dental Solutions. Jackson Snyder with another tackle there. Clock will stop as they move the chains, and we've got an injured player down for, it's actually an injured official. We've got an injured official down on the field. And the trainers will tend to him. So much can happen, and officials often have their backs to players who are coming up and trying to make hits. And hopefully this wasn't too hard a hit here, as I understand we have a look in the truck from the R&B Car Company replay at maybe what happened, and it looks like the official right there just caught one in the back and then caught one down low.
Yeah. It's one of those unfortunate where guys trying to go around him, just clips him. But as he clipped him, there was a guy falling by his feet at the same time. They'd call that a chop block.
Yeah.
Give him a 15-yard penalty. Move him
Well,
back.
here's the good news is there's only 38 seconds remaining in the game. The official, while on his feet, probably could be escorted off the field. They really don't need him to finish these last 38 seconds.
No, and I'm sure they could just reset the play clock to 40 seconds right here, and both coaches walk out to the middle of the field and call this game as well.
Which wouldn't be the worst decision either. Well, they water him up. And it looks like he's going to try to stick around. For that man, Bart Curtis, tough losing to his friend Keith Kinder. They haven't talked in 6 days. They talk all the time. They'll discuss things over Keith's coffee tomorrow, and I know Bart will probe Keith's mind. What did you see in our team that you tried to exploit? And Keith will do the same, and it's one of the things that makes their relationship so good.
Yeah, and Keith actually talked about that on the way off of halftime. He's like, hey, we found some things that we really thought we could do, and they were able to do those in the first half, really successful.
Quentin Brock on the keeper, and Brock has another first down sponsored by Dental Solutions, which will stop the clock as he gets up to the 39-yard line. But once they set the chains, Warsaw would not have to run another play, although it looks like the Tigers are continuing to compete, which is completely their right here. Brock pitches out. Ethan Egolf loses the football. Mishawaka recovers, and that should do it. Jack Troyer with his second fumble recovery of the game, and it happens with 2 seconds left.
There it is. Ran it off.
And those 2 seconds expire, and the ball game is all over. The Mishawaka Cavemen have gone to 5-1 on the season, knocking off the 9th-ranked team in 6A, the Warsaw Tigers, by a count of 34-11. Stick around, everybody. We've got a lot to cover on our St. Joe County Police Department post-game show, and that includes our Raising Cane's player of the game and our electrical workers electrifying play of the game. It's all next on the 46th game of the week.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by
the Mishawaka Cavemen assume the lead of the Northern Lakes Conference tonight with a 34-11 triumph over the Warsaw Tigers at Steele Stadium. And now the Cavemen look to see if they can run the table in the rest of the year in the NLC. Welcome inside the Martin Supermarket broadcast booth on our St. Joe County Police Department postgame show. Chuck Freeby with Bo Hunt. Impressive is the word to describe.
Very impressive. I mean, they've come a long way since we saw them against the Penn Kingsmen. Played a very not flawless game, but the first half I thought was very flawless. Second half, they were trying to run the clock. They were able to just run as many plays they wanted to. Had the one fumble, the one mishap, but other than that, I mean, just a great game overall for the Cavemen.
Could have picked a lot of different players from Mishawaka tonight. Xavier Juarez had a great game. And linebacker, Jason Martin along the defensive line, maybe one of the offensive linemen, but the guy that makes everything go in that Caveman offense is Brady Fisher, and he had a stellar game tonight. That's why he's our Raising Cane's player of the game. He's standing by now with Angelo DiCarlo.
Brady Fisher, what a game. Your thoughts?
Oh, we just played a hard game, and it was definitely a fun one to win.
Take me through the first touchdown. How did that go so beautifully?
You know, all week, Coach Shaw gave us a great game plan, and we knew they were coming out in 1 or 2 looks, and we got the look we wanted, and it was just a home run.
This is obviously a big game. You guys take over sole possession of first place in the NLC. You know there's a lot still to come, but how big was this one here tonight?
This is a big one. We lead the conference now, and we just got to win 2 more, and we'll be conference champs.
Finally, your coach, Keith Kinder, gets his 50th win, second fastest in school history. Your thoughts on what he means to this program and to your team?
You know, Coach Kinder, he's been a great coach for the last 4 years. I wouldn't want to play for anyone else, and I just love being around him.
All right, Brady, congratulations. Go celebrate with your team.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
That's Brady Fisher, your Raising Cane's player of the game.
All right, thank you very much, Angelo. Nice job tonight down on the sidelines, and we have to pick an electrifying play of the game thanks to our electrical workers of Local 153. Tough to beat the start we had tonight with Brady Fisher.
I think that was the biggest thing. I mean, when you come out, first play, you fake the dive, and then you take off. And what a run, just a nice stiff arm. And for a quarterback his size, he's got some speed, he's got some moves, and to go up 7-0 after one play was huge for the Cavemen tonight.
So Brady Fisher having a big night. Raising Cane's player of the game gets the electrical workers electrifying play of the game. And we get to see some more Northern Lakes Conference action next week because this race is not over. Mishawaka has to go to Northwood next week, and we're going to be in Dunlap for a battle of the greens between Northridge and Concord.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game next week. Concord's really coming on. Northridge has such a stellar defense, and they just play with such heart. It's going to be a great game next week.
So we look forward to having you with us, and our thanks to our TV46 crew who helped bring us this one, led by our production manager, Dean Korsmo, and the bubbly one, Tony Beltran at the controls. Matt Killer Kowalski doing a great job tonight as well. A reminder, we've got college football on the radio Saturday. Indiana takes on Akron. That's a 7:30 kickoff on 103.1 FM. And then next Friday night, as we mentioned, we'll be at Jake Field in Dunlap as the Northridge Raiders meet the Concord Minutemen. We'll have it for you Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Don't forget to follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for all the latest local sports updates. Now from our broadcast partners, the Hall of Famer Bo Hunt and Angelo DiCarlo, it's Chuck Freebie. Once again, the final, Mishawaka 34, Warsaw 11. So long from the Princess City.